home far from their weapons forges in the sooty, smelly Ruhr Valley. So Gustav and his family acquired the estate with its superb view of the Austrian Alps, beneath one of whose peaks the legendary 12th century Emperor Friedrich Barbarossa is said to lie asleep in a cave, ready to spring to Germany's aid whenever the black ravens circling overhead warn him that the sacred soil of his First Reich is in danger. In the long sweep of history, the sale of Blönbach seems scarcely worth a footnote. Yet, in a way, it is a parable of the era. Since the dawn of modern Europe, the mysterious, powerful Krupp dynasty has flourished on war and rumors of war. Its steel forges had disgorged armor, bayonets, field guns, shells, battleship armor, and flotillas of submarines, always at immense profit to the House of Krupp. After Franz Ferdinand's death, the Central Powers sprang to arms, thereby confronting the house with a stupendous market. Thus, there is a fine analogue in members of the family entering archducal forests, trigger fingers tense, stalking prey. They were, in fact, symbols of the fatherland's national mood. Everything about the Krupps was remarkable. Their way of life, secretive. Their appearance, vulpine. Their empire, international. And their customers, chiefs of state. But nothing was quite so phenomenal as this habit of matching the Teuton mood of the moment. In the Middle Ages, when Germany was weak, the Krupps appeared and plied their trade modestly in the walled city of Essen. During the Napoleonic era, when the country felt servile, the head of the house donned a French cockade and became a Francophile. Then, in the next half-century, Germany rose. The drums of conquest rolled in 1870, 1914, and 1939, and each time it was a Krupp who honored the Junker blade on the family's anvils. Nowhere in American industry, or that of any other country, can you find a match for the ties that have bound German governments to the Krupp family. For a century, the two were inseparable partners, often acting as instruments of one another, and never has the parallel been more striking than in the appalling spring of 1945, when it appeared to have become deadly. When Gustav bought Blönbach, he never dreamed that he might be buying a tomb. Nevertheless, 31 years later, the lodge became that to him, for as the Third Reich crumbled, it seemed that the country and the Krupp dynasty were about to expire together. Throughout that extraordinary season, the head of the house lay as prostrate as the nation, helpless, paralyzed, in an upstairs bedroom surrounded by thousands of stuffed deer heads, mounted skins, and bric-a-brac fashioned from animal bones. He was not surrounded by his family. 12 years earlier, Gustav had reached the colossal conclusion that Barbarossa's new name was Adolf Hitler, and 4 of his sons had departed to become, in the words of the Führer's Mein Kampf exhortation to all German youth, hard as Krupp steel, hart wie Kruppstahl. Of the paralytic's children, 5 sons and 2 daughters, only one was here. 32-year-old Berthold, a delicate, Oxford-educated scientist who had been released by the Wehrmacht for penicillin research in Munich. The third person in the room was the most famous woman in the Reich. Her name was Bertha Krupp, and she was Gustav's wife. For nearly a half-century she had been Germany's richest individual, born in cheerless, forbidding Villehügel, the 300-room Krupp castle in Essen. Bertha had been bred to be a Teutonic version of Queen Mary, faithful, regal, erect as a candle. In her youth,